Hola and buenos dias, GNGs. My name is Trekk with 2Ks. Welcome to the Weekend Crypto, brought to you here on the Gentleman of Crypto YouTube channel. If you don't know, you're about to know what's going on. The basic idea is I cover crypto news that happens on the weekend between Monday and, sorry, damn, wow, I'm way off. Between Friday evening and Sunday. Record it. It comes out Monday morning for y'all because I know y'all out here living life. Y'all not being like me, being all about this crypto thing 24/7. And if I didn't say it, I'm Trekk with 2Ks, by the way. Yeah, the weekend has been what it's been. Just actually coming off of the Black Blockchain Summit that was at Howard University in DC. I have to say, I think this is the crossing year. There are a number of things that happen. Shout outs to the folks who came down. Shout outs to Reggie. I got a thing to talk about with Reggie. Zay was there, of course. It was Zay, Lamar, and they had the fireside chat convo thing going on with Mike Novogratz. That was pretty interesting. Yo, who really surprised me? Cory Booker surprised me. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. But I can't tell y'all each and every detailed thing because some of the things I don't remember, and then there was a lot that was going on. But nonetheless, this was the 5th year of the Black Blockchain Summit. Seen a number of people that I haven't seen in a bit. Got to meet some new people. And yeah, some things happened, some things were said. And I'm looking forward to next year to see how it grows after this point. But besides from that, I just want to say thank you for the folks who are tapping in. Thank you to the folks who follow this show that I'm on, as well as the joint over on Crypto Blood TV, which is my two Satoshis. Because, pardon me, I had people who actually like, hey, Trekk, what's going on? And then it was like, yo, you really just be like how you be on the show. Yes. How you see me here is how you see me in real life. Like, this is it. I don't got time to be pretentious on some shit. But nonetheless, though, I appreciate the folks who came out. I appreciate the folks who said what's up, and it was a great event. And in regards to this show here, as it is, I appreciate the folks who are tapping in week for week. I appreciate the folks who are taking what I say and putting it into their cross-referencing of information from the other folks that they pay attention to, as well as the main news sources that they pay attention to. Remember, I'm just some bald-headed guy on the internet, right? So that's it, right? Oh, by the way, these are actually my military issue shades. These are prescription, by the way. They all prescription when you see me in them. They all prescription. But nonetheless, let's jump into these stories. We got a couple of different things that happen. As y'all know, I generally stay away from price talk stuff. It's more about, are we talking policy? Are we talking a government change? Are we talking a partnership or some deal? So here you have it that Tether, USDT, launches on Polkadot. Is not really much to say about this article. Bottom line is now Tether is on a number of different layer one protocols around Solana, Ethereum, Kusama, Tron, Omni, and a bunch of others. And I didn't know that Near was actually about to be added on. Honestly, that's just the key takeaway in this whole article. It's actually a really short article, by the way, so there's nothing that you're really missing on this one. I'm gonna leave that there for those folks who are into the whole Terra. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Terra Luna in my head because I'm gonna get into a Terra Luna story. But as far as this thing goes, you know what? Yes, this is a sign of adoption, right? Yes, this gives more liquidity and utility to USTD. But y'all got to remember at the same time, all of this interconnection thing going on, it means there's more traceability. It means there's more mapping. It means there's also the other ability of doing some funky stuff like USDC. I'm just saying, not saying that's what that is what the intention of what this article is talking about. It was just talking about that now Tether is on Polkadot. But I'm just saying, remember, this is all programmable money. That's all. Jumping on to this next story. So, Central Bank of Russia approves Bitcoin, Ethereum, others for cross-border payment. Who thought of this article? I just realized that's what they wrote. Anywho, yo, if you've been watching me for the last couple of months, I've been talking about this for months. I'm jumping up close on y'all. Everybody keeps saying or was saying, oh, Russia is not going to do crypto. Russia is banning crypto, blah, 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 all the negative, this, that, and the third. Like, I'm also have to make some clarity on how this article makes it sound. Russia was setting up the legal framework And I said this back like 2-3 months ago. They was setting up the legal framework from their central bank, from the legislative part. They already had the thing. No, not they didn't already have it, but they were going through the process. This is over a year of them doing the legal back end work. Now, to put this other thing in caveat, though, so September 22nd, the Central Bank of Russia announced that it had come to the agreement with the Ministry of Finance to allow crypto payments for cross-border use. This means that, sorry, what this means is that who wrote this? What this basically is that it's not that they're able to use it inside the country, it's for the folks who are outside the country. That's what this is. And considering the other things that are going on right now, what they really did was they just added in another option for people to be able to pay in the bilateral trade business, as well as like a B2B level business stuff. So like the governmental level, trade level stuff, and then like businesses that have manufacturing deals or service deals in or outside of the country that are like in still the good friendly list. Here's the thing that I thought was annoying about how this article is written. Where are you? Where are you? Yeah. So the article is framing this in a standpoint of American sanctions are 100% illegal. I mean, sorry, 100% legal. Depending on what your understanding about how international law works, they're not. Then the other part of, and I ain't pulling no punches. I get the whole gang. I get the whole gang. I'm just saying. In the international scene, granted, X amount of these countries are towing the line for various reasons, but it's not. It's not legal. Just saying. Now, going into this part right here, now people are opening crypto wallets outside of the Russian Federation. It is necessary that this can be done in Russia, that this is done by entities supervised by central bank, which are required to comply with the requirements of anti-money laundering legislation. First of all, of course, to know their client, the finance minister said, the level of ignorance is astonishing, even in these first tier countries. The level of ignorance is astonishing. People are opening wallets outside of the Russian Federation. Bruh, what? How ignorant do you sound right now? This line annoyed me so much, as well as just the overarching thing of how this article is being framed, and this is about evading sanctions. Russia's literally making deals with countries to accept the ruble too. Countries are coming to Russia saying, "Hey, we'll take your ruble." I'm gonna jump to this next story because I don't feel like beating this horse. Just know the way this shit is being explained here in the States is not what's going on outside. I promise you it's not. Jumping on to this next thing, and I've seen this story pop up in two different platforms, and the way that they framed it was very different and stark in contrast. So new Kraken CEO Ripley seeks growth, not a clash of crypto titans. So basically what they're saying is he's coming in, he doesn't want to see the companies or his predecessor, which is Jesse, having a clash or anything with him. I don't know what the whole behind the scenes things was. I heard some stuff mentioned. Where was I? I think I was either at the Black Blockchain Summit or I was at someplace else. And it might seem, I don't know exactly because I really don't even use Kraken and I don't pay attention to much of anything that comes out of that. But I heard it mentioned just in regards to how he was getting publicly and speaking that it might not have worked best for the direction that they might go in. Now, in regards to this particular article, they're basically just picking talking points on the new guy Ripley and how he wants to sound very confident and how he wants to be in the, hey, we're going to continue the great tradition of, or the, what is it, the ecosystem of Kraken, and we're going to push forward, we're going to be about the users, blah, blah, blah. But he's also talking about new services and stuff. Now, here comes this article. New Kraken CEO says crypto exchange won't be registering with the SEC. Report. Everyone uses reports now in their titles or in the body of their article to do this like delegated liability thing of, oh, it was in a report. Half the time the shit wasn't even a report. It was just another news article that they took some shit out of. I promise you. Nonetheless, so according to this, According to a new a new report by Reuters, Dave Ripley, who will take the place of current CEO Jesse Powell, says that Kraken won't register with the SEC as a market intermediary or delist tokens. The delist tokens the regulatory agency deems to be securities. First off, Reuters don't write reports. Reuters is a news thing. Now, and when we take about reports in the traditional sense of, oh, this is like 5 pages of, or 30, 50, 60 pages of stuff, that's not a report. They probably wrote like a multi-page article thing, but 1,200 words or whatever, but we're not like, this is what I'm talking about. You got to read between the lines on how they pushing this stuff out. Like, it's worded one way, but that doesn't mean that's actually what it is. So this next thing, Ripley says that Kraken has no plans to remove those tokens and won't register with the SEC, despite Chairman Gary Gensler's call for crypto exchanges to do. I would argue in this particular thing, and I'm going to move from this in a minute, unless you read the actual article out of Reuters, the way that these two different articles are framing, because the Block article, actually, what I realized after was they did the same thing. They were pulling quotes out of the Reuters article, but they weren't saying the same things that they were pulling out of this article for the Daily Hodl. And so it's two different contrasting takes on what he said. Daily Hodl has you thinking he's about to be like, yo, come get me. I dare y'all. As opposed to the Block, where it's just, hey, I'm just about making it that the company stays great and that we push forward and be positive and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what that was about, but I thought I would point that out to y'all. You really got to pick through how these things are presented to you. Just saying, I know I'm just some guy with shades on the internet, but just throwing that out there. That did happen. Kraken has a new CEO, and they're definitely going to be looking to make their way through this crypto winter and build back up. Now, how that SEC situation going to play out, we going to have yet to see on that one. I don't know. Jumping on to this next thing. Disney hiring transaction lawyer for aggressive NFT and DeFi plans. So I'm gonna be honest with you. The highlight of this is the media conglomerate is looking for legal help as it expands into Web3 territory. Disney is focused on next generation storytelling. So this line right here goes into something that is down here where one of their people said something like, we don't use the M word because it's too hairy, meaning like it's so thrown around that it doesn't have its same semantic value, right? Now, bottom line is, they did post this position on LinkedIn. I'm actually surprised that it's only 38 people who applied, and this was like within the 24-hour period. I'm also surprised that this actually got dropped on the weekend, honestly. I'm actually looking at this article more as a second tier type of advertisement announcement for this, because they only had 38 people apply for it, which also makes me wonder, why is it that if y'all been doing this in business thing with Vive apps down here, and that's been going on for how long now, which is like more than a year. I'm not a fan of Vive for a number of different reasons. I learned my lesson the hard way, blah, blah, blah. I'm surprised they didn't already have this person in waiting. I'm dead ass. I'm surprised that they did not already have this person there. When you read through this, as far as your responsibilities, I cannot see the person who's the head of this department as the one person. Like, you got to have at least 3 people with you, for what they're saying is assist in performing due diligence for NFT, blockchain, third-party marketplaces, and cloud provider projects, and negotiating and drafting complex agreements for those projects. You got to have a team. There's no way you just hiring one person and they're not going to have a team. The other part to note about this is the legal side of biz dev. Like, this is the, hey, you know how to actually write up the contracts. They're not saying this person has to code. They ain't saying this person got to make the actual NFTs. They're just saying, hey, we need you to know how to come up with the legal side for when we start dealing with IP, these business partnerships, the different type of licensing deals. That's what this person's going to do. That's what this person's going to do. And hey, I guess we're going to see how it plays out. It also makes me wonder, who did y'all have looking at the stuff before when y'all was dealing with Vive and the other platforms? I'm just saying, just some things running around my head as I'm reading these things. But this is still there. It just apparently got dropped this weekend, whatever. Jumping into this next thing, Cardano Vassal upgrades finally launched. I'm gonna be honest, I still don't pay attention to Cardano. I feel like there was a lot of media related tension being produced between Charles and Vitalik, or at least the Cardano and the Ethereum camps, because these changes that were being made as far as upgrades took place at the same time. But I don't think that is really much to say. Although I had to say, I do wonder one or two things based on what I've seen in this. So, most notable improvement brought out by the upgrade are block transmissions without full validations. Consequently, this allows faster blockchain creation, which I can understand that part. Maybe not at the full technical level, but I get what it's how that mechanism works. And the implementation focal point would escalate efficiency that empowers decentralization capacity to roll at reduced costs. Now, that last line, that just sounds like fucking soup salad in words, right? And then the other part is, so y'all basically gave up a level of security in order to have a faster transaction speed, and then you said some other stuff down here that I need more of a technical person to tell me, is this actually true? Because one of the things I definitely learned in Lesbian was that even though y'all can market the hell out of the new MVP or the talking point on something, when you start talking to a techie person, I'm going to say this again. When you start talking to a technical person, I promise you, they will definitely put you on to what something as a software can and can't do. You just got to know what questions to ask too. That's the other thing. If you don't know what questions to ask to crack the door open on stuff, sometimes they're not going to tell you, or they'll talk over your head on some stuff. But if you have an idea of the questions to ask, trust me, they'll let you know what's up. All right. Jumping into this other line too that had me, Vassal would fix the problem of concurrency, which has seriously hampered the capacity of Cardano to scale, which again, I haven't paid attention to enough of the stuff into Cardano, let alone the technical side of it. This might be true. I don't know exactly. The latest progress would bring about significant network enhancement that narrows the size of transactions, increasing the network's throughput, which will result in the reduction of transaction fees. Now, this one had me, and I'm not technical enough, but I'm still curious because we already see what's going on with the merge on Ethereum side. And yeah, the transaction fees are low, but it's not because of the merge. That's a whole different thing. It's not technically because of the merge. And I'm gonna jump on this last line right here, which kind of threw me off, right? So they go into a hard fork takes place the moment when participants on a blockchain network choose to split the chain, right? This could be due for various reasons, which can result in two variations of the protocol or network. However, this is not the case for Cardano, and the hard fork makes the new protocol compatible with the old one. So either the writer doesn't understand the distinction between a soft fork and a hard fork, or I'm missing something on the end of, did Cardano talk about this as being a hard fork? Because if it's still compatible, then how is this a hard fork? If you can still work with the older version, would this not be a soft fork? I don't know what this means to the price point of Cardano. Honestly, I don't know what this means for it down the road. Like, how's the market going to take it? How are the users going to be cool with it? I don't know what this is going to mean for Africa, because Charles is always talking about how he doing stuff in Africa. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's being pumped out right now in the news of crypto. All right, jumping into this next joint, Lunk. So Luna, I forgot what the C stands for. Investors react to CZ's 1.2 trading tax recommendation on Binance. All right, so basically, this has to do with the whole Luna situation and how they're trying to get the flip in regards to the supply of what's out there in the markets. So CZ says what he says, and what was the line that I said that I took away? The recommendation split up the Luna community, as some supported CZ's decision to implement a opt-in button, while others interpreted it as a market manipulation from a centralized entity. Listen, let me get close on this one. The whole damn space is market manipulation. If you're talking about burning your supply, that's market manipulation for the price stabilization and increase. If you're talking about staking, staking is market manipulation. The levels of how this stuff is financial instruments and then is being marketed in a way that people don't understand those connections for what they are is a whole nother thing unto itself. But at the end of the day, like the community being mad about it being market, the whole damn thing is market manipulation. The bottom line is what they're looking to do on Binance is you bring in the LUNA or LUNC, and then that way they'll burn it. So the idea is to shrink the supply of it in order to bring the price back up or at least stabilize it out. And they're trying to recapture their liquidity thing on there. This is why I don't mess with trading, y'all. This is just why I don't deal with the trading world anymore. Stuff. And I wasn't good at it before. I'm not even going to touch it now. So that happened too over this weekend. If you into the whole terror thing still and you messing around on Binance, I don't know what you think about this, but the comments are open. Definitely, we don't delete nothing. So if you think I'm talking on my ass on it, hey, the comments are open on the YouTube side, and you can catch me on Twitter. Yeah. So jumping into this next joint right here, Defense Agency inks deal with crypto intelligence firm to analyze digital assets. For the conversations I have, there is not one department under DOD that ain't doing something related to this. And then the same thing applies for the different agencies that work to do protection of the internal infrastructure, cyber side, land side of the states. And I'm saying the states is America, the United States of America, if you're not clear on that one. Basic idea is, I'm gonna read this highlight. So digital asset markets hold amazing promise, but also contend with money laundering, market manipulation, and state actors that may pose risk to U.S. national security, to U.S. national security. And given the increasing prevalence of digital assets, the Department of Defense and the federal agencies need to have a better tool to understand how digital assets operate and how to leverage the jurisdiction, authority, what did you say? It's not, thank you, over digital assets market globally. The company intends to develop the first of its kind cryptocurrency mapping tool for analyzing, where is it at? Analyzing cross-market crypto financial data and risk. So in this sense right here, I'm gonna just say this. One, this was product placement for the company named Inca that got the deal. I imagine the contract got to be over at least $500,000, if they not in like maybe the 2 million, 3 million range for that contract. I'm curious as to what their actual deliverables are aside from that particular thing that they're looking to create. But where I'm going with this is all of what this dude just said right here, the CEO, that's all the buzzword talking PR. I got to be confident. I got to show my patriotism. I got to talk about America and blah, blah, blah. That's all that was. That's all this is right here. Bottom line is this is about the Department of Defense cutting out their own or creating their own tool set to be able to influence the crypto markets, as well as be able to utilize cryptocurrencies and the bigger blockchain thing in ways that suits the department. That's it. This is just a new form of intelligence gathering. That's it. And they need to be able to put in what they need to, and as well as be able to understand when people are pushing out data sets. That's what this reads as to me. I don't know about anybody else, but that's how I'm taking it. Nonetheless, like that also came out this weekend, which means that the deal was probably inked out like maybe a month ago, or maybe at the beginning of the month. This last like two more to go. All right, bet. So here's this deal right here. Apple's, hey, we're gonna allow the apps on the store that are NFT related. Y'all can now sell it, but you got to give us 30% on the transaction fee for when you sell NFT related things. Here's where I'm like, oh, you guys are so shooting yourself in the foot. And I also wonder, I've seen the Solana mobile phone pop up in a number of other articles lately in relation to this Apple thing, because I've seen a couple other stories pop up over the week about the Apple thing. And for whatever reason, everyone that a number of the articles that I've seen, they keep throwing in this whole Solana mobile phone reference. I don't understand why, because who actually thinks in any like logical sense, let me get a mobile phone that's connected to a smart contract that has horrible uptime and that can be turned off at any point and has shown a track record of being turned off more than what, 5 times in a let's say 15-month period? Who the hell thinks that's a good phone and I want to have that as like the blockchain I'm going to be on to do stuff? I get y'all liquidity, folks. I get it. The crypto flow, the money, the crypto velocity is there. I'm just saying, I'm from a different era. I don't know. That's what I go with. I'm from a different era. But as far as this thing go, I think how I read this, and when I first heard it, I think Apple's trying to throttle the apps in the store, and two things will come out of this. One is until they come up with their own thing, and when they come up with their own like version of something, I think they're still trying to figure out exactly how they can put their thing in to throttle. And this is a throttle thing until they can get their mechanism or their model set up. And then the other thing is, I think this is also going to lead to some exclusive deals that will happen over like next year and a little after, and probably until they get their thing up, where, because you notice how there's the deal right now where certain apps are exclusive to Apple, and then they'll have certain functions that you can only do on the Apple side of the app, not the Android side. I think this might be one of those things that they'll try to push on some of the apps in their store where it's like, all right, we'll cut your transaction fee, your commission fee down lower if you do an exclusive with us for blah, blah, blah long. Just saying. That sounds like a logical play to me. Whatever. I'm just some guy. And then this happened. On the other thing too, even though people are complaining about how high those commission fees are on the Apple Store, I promise you companies are going to do it. I promise you the startups are going to do it. So I'm jumping in this last story. As I saw Reggie this weekend at the Black Blockchain Summit, he was the closing speaker for the whole thing, and he definitely did deliver on his speech, and how he like was breaking down the whole thing of like race is a social construct, but institutional racism is a real thing. If you have a certain level of melanin, you very much understand what I'm talking about. All right. And so this basically, we were talking about this a little bit. He has pulled the trigger. He set the thing in motion. Coinbase is now facing a lawsuit that in relation to infringing on his patent. And for everybody who was like, oh, when I was asking people and I was talking to folks like, oh, would you be interested in talking with Reggie on your show? Would you be interested in doing blah, 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 blah? Yo, everybody was like, who did he sue? That can't be real. Or, okay, bet. This situation happened. It is officially in the courts right now. I can't wait to see how this shit ripples out to everybody else. I promise you, I'm here for it. I ain't touched Coinbase in years. So yeah, I am really here for it. But that's just me. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Anywho, that was my last story. Shout outs to Reggie for getting to this point, and we're gonna see how this play out. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I am really looking forward to see how this play out. Yeah. Anywho, I can't call even what it's gonna be, but the bottom line is 350 million for patent right infringement. And the way it looks like they're not gonna be the only ones that get that letter. But anywho, I am Trek with 2Ks, and I'm gonna close it out with, what is it? During the week on Wednesdays, I'm doing the Wevolution with my homeboy CB, Crypto Blood, if you don't know, and a couple other folks that do the co-hosting thing. It's called the Wevolution. It's gonna be on Twitter. It's at 8 p.m. East Coast time. I also do with 3D Metaverse, the Cliff Notes to Web3. We do that on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Again, East Coast time. You can find it on my Twitter. All of these are on the Twitter stuff, so you can definitely find them. What's the other thing? We do the monthly introduction to the metaverses as far as education and security basic practices and stuff like that. You can find that on Eventbrite. And oh, yeah, then I'm also doing this here, Weekend Crypto, and I'm doing the my two Satoshis over on CB's channel, and that comes out like once or twice in a week. But this one right here is every Monday, and yeah, I'm a busy person on the content side. Yes, I know it's a lot going on, but I appreciate y'all for tapping in. And until the next one, basically, Have a productive over busy day. Have a good week. If you're not going to be productive, at least be in good company and in a safe place. One.